I served on the standards review committee for social studies, so you can throw things at me now, or not. It was a very interesting experience. There was me and then one other academic from the University of Northern Colorado, and we were, we were all a pretty cooperative group there in the geography subcommittee. But then you also worked across grade levels. So we worked in our content areas, and then you also worked across elementary, pre-K, lower elementary grades, middle school, and high school. So we were really trying to be coordinated about it. We were trying to be thoughtful in the social studies committee. What I am kind of sad about, and other people are happy about, is that all of the science, all of the physical geography went to science. So you will not find any of those standards in the recently revised social studies standards. All of the physical geography is in science. Now, I've been promised that that's all linked nicely and that you'll be able to connect, but I'm not out there teaching. So my request to you is, if as a teacher you're not finding that there's an easy connection there, let's talk to the Department of Ed and make sure that even if you're not necessarily teaching it, you as a teacher know that there's a physical link or a human link that you should be cognizant of. Before I start in, how many people here have looked at the new standards? Okay. All right. Well, I can't do anything about you. So, but this, I will say, is going to be a big focus of certainly the Department of Ed for the next year. And the Colorado Geographic Alliance is really committed to helping the Department of Education, as they like to say, unpack the standards. Now, what that quite means yet is mysterious to me, but we'll kind of see if we can figure that out. All right, let me see where I get this. All right. So here are the key things that we were told again and again by the people in charge. You really want to know that student is there. The image is you're walking across the platform, you shake the hand of the principal, you get your diploma, and you also get a backpack. And so what does that backpack have in it? And so that's what a prepared graduate is in the state of Colorado. And there's a whole set of prepared graduate competencies for every single content area. So that's the image that you kind of want to think in your head, whether you're starting with a kindergartner or whether you've got a 12th grader. What are they going to have in that backpack when they walk across the stage at graduation? And we also wanted to make sure that we weren't repetitive and that we were building on all of the skills or preparing for those later higher level thinking skills. So again, we changed from grade spans to grade level. And in part that has to do a lot with demography and movement and immigration. So that if you've got a child who's been growing up in Colorado Springs and suddenly their parent gets a job in Grand Junction, you don't want them to have 2 years in 7th and 8th grade or 6th and 7th grade of Eastern Hemisphere. It's not really balanced for them. So while we were really trying to address the issues of local control, which is really very strong in Colorado, with the needs to make sure that students were able to get all of the information and the learning they needed, no matter what school district they were in. This happens in Colorado Springs quite often. There are 16 school districts within El Paso County, and it's unfair to kids if their home situation changes that their school, what they were learning suddenly changes as well. So that's one of the reasons we went to grade by grade expectations. Mastery based, and yes, your favorite and mine, 21st century skills. So that's a huge other push. How are we going to make sure that these students are ready for the next century? Yes. Fewer, clearer, higher. How many of you are familiar with that term? Ooh, okay. So they pounded us to make sure that we were not saying a laundry list of items that were supposed to be achieved in these standards. So that's why they're supposed to be fewer. And we're supposed to be really clear. What does this mean? Now, we're not really trying to prescribe how you teach this, but we do want you to think about what the student is supposed to have learned by the time you've taught this lesson. And also really going for a greater depth of knowledge. And part of the way we did that was to look at both other best practices in terms of national and international standards. So we looked at Indiana, Massachusetts, Finland, and Singapore. These are the 21st century skills that you will see kind of permeating not just social studies, but these are all of the standards. And so certainly we have plenty of those that you have exhibited here today. And those all take place within both geospatial thinking as well as the technology. So just yesterday, the National Educational Technology Plan 2010 was put out by the Office of Educational Technology. So you can see that educational technology is a huge need and something that you are all on the cutting edge of at the moment. There's also quite a bit of attention being paid to the issue of technology at the state level. So one of the other directions that we're taking is trying to make sure that we are not in a geography silo, not in a social studies silo, but we're really trying to reach across the curriculum and ensure teachers that we are supporting them with geospatial technology in a variety of areas. Aurora Community College is doing a fantastic job right now of incorporating geospatial technology across the curriculum. So that's a great model to look at for a real wide variety of activities.